Warning: this video contains an excessive use of the word hopper. Hello and welcome back to Joker's Redstone Designs. Welcome to part 2 of the furnace, or this video is about the furnace itself. So some time ago, I watched a video by Mumbo-jumbo, and he had a furnace, a Super Smelter, that I wanted to use in Bedrock. And I quickly found out that it wasn't going to work. So I devised this type of method here. And now it looks like an excessive amount of hoppers. Or you have this one here that's one less hopper with no chest, but again still looks like a lot of hoppers. I can show you the reason why I use so many hoppers in that furnace that you saw in video part 1. By the way, that building had 900 hoppers in it. But anyway, so we're going to put in 2 blocks in this chest, and we're going to put 2 blocks in this chest as well. So in Mumbo's video, he has this hopper locked where the items drop down into the furnace. And of course this one here is your hopper chain that runs across. Now if we just momentarily unlock this, you can see it flashes the torch there. We now have only one item up there. We have one item in this locked hopper. It did not travel into the furnace. And this is why this doesn't work on Bedrock. I found by adding another hopper underneath, what will happen when we unlock the furnace, unlock the hopper, is that the item that was in here will actually get drawn out by this hopper and then placed into this furnace. So as you can see, we have 2 up here. We're going to flick this lever here. And you can see that torch flashed. Now we have 1 up here. We have nothing in the locked hopper, nothing in this hopper, and your block went into this hopper. So let's build this up for you. These are going to be the materials that you're going to need. You're going to need an excessive amount of these hoppers here, as I mentioned before, and then just a few of the rest of the materials, and you'll see that as we go along. I want to build you up a 16 long furnace here, but you can take it all the way to 24. I don't recommend going beyond 24 as it becomes inefficient. As the items travel across here, it takes longer than 10 seconds to travel more than 24 hoppers. And a furnace only takes 10 seconds to cook, therefore you don't want to go beyond 24. If you're using smokers or blast furnaces for this same method, you don't want to go beyond 12, as in they cook twice as fast, so you don't want the items traveling longer than 5 seconds. And I do apologize, I'm not that good at editing, so you're going to have to watch me place all these. Or don't. It shouldn't take very long. So we have our 16 furnaces across. Next we're going to move on to placing 2 hoppers on top of every furnace. Now in survival you could just be standing on top of these. You can crouch, place 2, walk ahead, place 2, and so on. Next we're going to move down to placing the hoppers in the back of the furnaces here. As I said, I like the model that has the chest for extra fuel storage. You can build this without the chest. If you want to just screenshot this here, you would just make it look like that one the same way. I'm going to place chest along in here. And then again, we're going to put 2 more hoppers in the top of each of these chests. Next, we're going to run our hopper chain. I'm building it in this direction. You can build it in any direction you want. We're going to come 2 hoppers out, and we're going to do the same for this side here. Not out the front though. Not a good place for a hopper to be. Oh, we're going to go 1 more out. Okay. So we're going to place a chest up here. That's going to be your input. That's going to be your fuel side. We're going to come down here. We're going to place this row of blocks all the way across, solid. And you want to come 1 extra block out for this, actually, we're going to make that a glass block in a moment here. I like to use glass blocks a lot for blocks that I don't have to power. It helps developing the redstone machines so that I don't power a block accidentally that I don't want powered. And this one, again, will come out right there. We'll place our dust all the way down the line. Now you might be wondering, how am I going to power a 16 long row of dust? Well, it's actually very, very simple, and it keeps the machine very simple as well. I know everybody says simple about redstone machines, but by the end of this video, if you stuck around that long, you'll see just how simple I mean. So we go 2 blocks out from the end, for the end of the chain that's pointing this way. I placed a temporary block here. Well, we can take those temporary blocks out. Replace another temporary block here. We'll go 1 on the front, 1 on the top. We're going to point right at the redstone, and we'll put another one there and there. Knock that block out. We're going to do the same thing on this side, so block here. So you're making a little staircase kind of going up from the end of what we've placed on the end of the furnace here. So you should have something that looks like this. So 2 blocks and then solid blocks. They're staggered. One's for your fuel side, one's for your input side. So we're going to grab our comparator. I'm going to place that right at the end of the hopper chain. Again, your hopper should be pointing at that comparator. Next, we're going to grab the repeater. So one item comes down this line and turns that comparator on. The repeater is going to boost up the signal. And then it's going to power the dust sideways from that block to here. We're going to go up this little staircase. Since this is only 16 furnaces long, we're going to remove this block and place a solid. Remove that block and place a solid one. And we're going to place torches on them. And then we'll continue placing this dust. So it should travel all the way down the staircase like that. And then the same thing for this side. Now this circuit won't change regardless of how long your furnace wants to be. Anything over 16, you're going to need this setup here. And then you would just extend this line to make this torch exactly 15 from the end of your furnace, whether you use a 16 long or use a 24 long. So next we're going to build up the end circuits, or where the inputs are. So for the front side, we're going to do one method here. We're going to grab a furnace, or it could be any container in the game. We're going to take this temporary out. We're going to place this furnace here, and then we're going to place another furnace inside of this furnace. And why is that? Because you need a container with one item in it for this method to work. So we're going to take a comparator. We're going to have the comparator point into the hopper that's right before your input. Or, I'm sorry, right before your furnace. I'll place the comparator here. Now you'll see it turns on. This redstone line is on. We're going to place this in subtract mode. What that's going to do is as long as you have a stronger redstone signal coming into the side of the comparator than the comparator is reading from the furnace, because we only have one item in it, you may even want to relabel that do not remove. So this comparator is not currently locked until this torch gets turned off. So we're going to turn that torch off, and now you can see the comparator, the 2 torches in the back of it are now lighting, and it's currently locking that. So we're going to replace this torch here. For the other locking method that I prefer to use, I came up with it some time ago, is we're going to place an obsidian on the back here. I'm going to place a piston facing down this way, like this. Next, we're going to place a torch on top of that, and if your torch from that end is within the 15 blocks, that torch is going to turn off. Lastly, we're going to place a dust right on top of that hopper. Now, if you're using this piston method on both sides, you will have to place a block here so that the dust doesn't connect on both sides. Now, I like to use this piston method because it keeps the furnace 1 block smaller. The furnace, this extra one here, kind of sticks out the front, but if you're using just the piston method, you've got your whole furnace bank is only 4 blocks wide. And this is built. This is a completed furnace. That's it. As I said before, it was pretty easy to do. So next we're going to grab some fuel and we're going to cook. I know I should have grabbed it out of the menu moments ago. I apologize. We're going to grab a stack of kelp blocks and come over here. We're going to grab a stack of ore. Say we're going to use iron because, well, we're going to need a lot of iron to make this machine. So we're going to place our kelp blocks in the fuel chest. And we're going to quickly run down here. So the items are going to run across the line. You're going to see this comparator flash on and that torch turn off momentarily. Now that just put one item in every furnace, whether we come to the front one or by the time I get over here there's probably going to be a second one already. Yep, there it is. If we wait long enough you're going to see a third one come in. There we go. And then of course you're going to see it flash one more time putting the last one in. So each time the items run completely across this, you'll have one item in every furnace. And then this will unlock, turning off this row of blocks, allowing them to drop into the furnace. What this piston and these comparators are doing is they are locking these inputs so that you have the exact amount of items that you have for the number of furnaces. It will momentarily lock these when it unlocks the row of blocks, so you don't get any additional blocks building up in either this furnace or an extra one running down to the other end. So this will give you 100% even item distribution. So if we come and look, we have 4 in this one. We'll skip ahead. We got 4 there. We got 4 there. And so on. We come all the way down the line. We have exactly 4. And this small circuit will give you the exact amount of items for the number of furnaces every single time. It's 100% reliable. I've been using this furnace design for about a year now. So next we're going to put our fuel in. So we're going to throw our iron ore in here. We're going to come down here. And in just a few seconds you're going to see that torch up there turn off and all your furnaces are going to light up instantaneously. Every furnace lit up every time. So now this is a 16 row, and this is great if you guys, it'll split stacks evenly when you're cooking. But if you want to go for the larger method of 24, you can see I have a few different styles over here. That was the original XP bank. But this is what 24 furnaces look like face to face, as you saw in part 1 of the video. These are just different models I was messing with, trying to figure out designs here. This one here is a very, very massive one. This is 192 furnaces. It can cook a double chest of items in 3.5 minutes. I just can't fill it fast enough. So I found that 96 furnaces is the perfect amount for cooking. And so I think that about does it. I thank you guys for watching and sticking around to the end while I mumble on. Take care.